Hello, everyone. I am happy to come to you with a few more details about our parking lot mass, our outdoor mass held in the parking lot, which will be noon on Sunday. Remember, noon on Sunday is the scheduled time. Distribution of Holy Communion will begin after Mass, and this will take the place um, of the 10:30 distribution. I'll come back to that in a minute. So a few logistical details. First of all, we are setting up the sanctuary with the altar and a pulpit to be able to read the gospel, read the readings, and preach from in along the back wall of our church. And so we just had the great work done on the stone work, and I've had a number of parishioners since that work was done earlier this year comment on how nice it looks. We have that beautiful stone wall with the beautiful cross right on it that has been newly restored and looks beautiful. So that'll be sort of the backdrop that you will have. And so because of that, the majority of the parking will go facing the direction that the parking lines already go. Of course, you would the front row of the double spots, if my words are making sense here, would be facing forward. There will be parking lot ushers, as I'm calling them, in the parking lot to help direct you to know where and how to park. But basically, everyone would need to be facing the same direction. And so certainly this whole process is going to involve a fair amount of patience with the process of parking, with the process of then leaving the parking lot to receive Holy Communion on your way out. It's going to require patience, and who knows how many other logistical details will prove to be complicated as we get going. Certainly making the arrangements have been complicated, so I just want to thank you in advance for your patient and cooperative attitude, which you've all expressed to me in different communications, and so thank you for that. Also, that's how parking is going to work. We will, however, because with the trees, we were not able to set up our sanctuary space, our altar and pulpit on the grass, and so we are having to move the sanctuary up onto what would normally be the handicap parking. Of course, we are designating alternative handicap parking, and so there will still be handicap parking available, of course, up front. But that is where it will take place. And so because of that, we will sort of lose some parking spots in that very front row that normally basically pulls up to the grass. Because if you were to park there facing the direction you normally would, you would not be facing Mass. You would have Mass next to you instead of in front of you. And so we will have our parking lot ushers help to arrange some parking where that would be the one spot where you wouldn't park with the lines, but you would be parked perpendicular to the lines. And because of that, we'll be able to get probably fewer cars in that space safely, but we'll do what we can. Also, I have good news to share with you that the requirement that people stay in their cars the whole time, really as of today, is lifted. That having been said, it is not a recommendation that everybody come with the necessary expectation to sort of camp out, because those who do sort of want to set up lawn chairs or a blanket or something to that effect would have to really be prepared to spread out, because we do still have to practice social distancing. That requirement is not lifted, okay? Particularly across households that across households, that you would not be sort of mingling in the parking lot or on our grounds. Um, so and it's of course a good idea to bring a mask um, to these things as well, for the sake of any time in which you would need to sort of come a little closer to someone, if you will. But so I do ask you, and really need to insist that you be prudent and cautious about that. Um, that if you are intending to be outside of your car, that you not be breaking that social distancing rule of thumb that's going to be our norm for a while yet. And more information to come about how that will affect things in the future, but we should continue to expect that will be the norm for a while. And so also for the offertory, we will not, of course, take up a collection in the form of passing a basket around from car to car or family to family. However, you will have the option to bring your contributions with you. Basically, your options would be that you could give them to the parking lot ushers, who could sort of collect them on your way in. Or that I will also have a space when you come to receive Holy Communion, a basket of some sort that you could place a contribution in, if you would like to sort of turn it in at that point. And again, I just want to thank everyone who has mailed in your contributions. So grateful for you to continue to make that sacrifice to help support our parish. God bless you. For sound options, we are continuing to work with our outdoor sound system, and the quality is improving, but it's an ongoing process, an ongoing development. So basically, your options would be to sort of roll down your windows and listen for what you can hear on the loudspeaker. Or to sort of roll them up and to tune in. WZOE 1490 AM is going to help us with broadcasting the sound for you. And I think you will find it most helpful to sort of commit to one or the other. As well as with visibility. I will be elevated a little bit on risers, but I can't guarantee that it will make me visible to all, particularly toward the back. And so even with visibility, for example, if you're in the car and you have on a phone or a tablet, you have Facebook Live pulled up, you kind of may want to commit to one or the other. Am I going to see well enough that I'm going to watch and just look and listen, or am I going to use the screen? Particularly because, of course, with live streaming, there will always be a lag. You can always expect to have a lag with live streaming. Also, know that that we will be outdoors, and so the bathrooms will not be available. So just to be aware of that. And for Holy Communion, that I've sort of been considering different options, and I really think continuing to use our sort of drive-through method in which you would get out, if you are able. Of course, first of all, that when it comes time for communion at the ordinary communion time during Mass, the deacon and I would bring communion to the cars that need need us to come to the cars, and basically they would be the ones probably in the handicap parking, but then at the conclusion of Mass, that the parking lot ushers will begin directing you to, in an orderly fashion, pull up to the pavilion, and it may not open up immediately, but know that when Deacon and I are both available to distribute Holy Communion outdoors, that I do open up a second space for distribution, which is over the underneath the awning that is over the now the doors into the atrium, the old junior high wing of the building, and it's the most convenient spot because to open up a second station, because it's right along the same path that you would be driving to get to the pavilion. And so when that opens up, there will be a couple stations to receive Holy Communion from. And also, lastly, that if you are not going to come for the Mass for whatever reason, but you would like to come to receive Holy Communion, of course, that you would be still preparing yourself to receive Holy Communion as if you were at Mass, whether by watching a live stream Mass or praying with the readings, etc. But if you are coming to receive Holy Communion but not coming for Mass, that you can still come at that time. I would ask that anyone not at Mass coming to receive Holy Communion would come sometime between 1 o'clock and 1:45, so that you can sort of get in the line. Then, of course, those who are at Mass, we would get through first, even just for the sake of sort of opening up the parking lot a little more. And again, I just ask for your patience, because I know it's going to be a little bit of a perhaps challenging process, perhaps an experimental process, and it's also uncertain whether or not this is something that's going to happen once or multiple times as we continue to figure out our path forward. A lot of that depends both on how this goes, if this proves to be complicated, and also the amount of time until we're able to make the arrangements and to receive the clearance to have indoor Mass again. So there's a number of factors in place for why we don't necessarily know yet if this is going to happen once or multiple times. Basically, I'll make an announcement about that sometime afterward. But please do stay tuned, and because we continue to really try to make the arrangements, as I've been saying, to make sure that we're doing everything safely and responsibly. And once we're prepared to do something safely and responsibly, then we'll have another announcement for you about something else that we're able to make available. And that process really is very much underway right now. So please continue to stay tuned. Again, thanks for all your patience and cooperative spirits. I love serving you all. So God bless you. Bye-bye.